go to the Glass or Guest line, check in with Trysta Krick. You guys can follow on X at Trysta_Krick, basketball analyst, sports comedy personality, and make sure you check out The Heat Check with Trysta Krick, an NBA podcast. T, a lot of NBA to talk about on the show today. Let's start with the two playing games that we have coming up tomorrow. We'll start with the one in the East between the Hawks and the Heat. And it's pretty much another pick-em. Atlanta's a small home favorite, minus 115, a total of 218.5. How do you see that game playing out tomorrow?
Well, I think it's fascinating because I don't really want to play a side here because both teams are, very erratic, like teams that you don't really know what you're getting. Trae Young got ejected the other night for messing around with the ref. The Heat, they've just got a bunch of random players. So the only play that I would actually have in this game, and I actually love it, is the over 218.5. The Heat, shockingly, are on an over tear. They've had hit the over in 6 of their last 7. Andrew Wiggins is scoring a lot. Tyler Hero is scoring a lot. They're just chucking. They're not winning many games, though. They're 1-5 in their last 6. Hawks as well, 4-5, 4 of 5 to the over. So 218.5 looks doable. Neither team is playing some lockdown D. Hawks have won some games down the stretch, but they've been beating weak-ass teams like Philly, Brooklyn, and Utah. So we don't really know how good either one of these teams really are. So to me, I think it's just the over.
All right, fair enough. What about in the Western Conference? You got the Grizzlies taking on the Mavericks. Dallas with a really impressive performance last night against Sacramento. Grizzlies had a good performance against Golden State, too. Just too much Steph and Jimmy Butler at the end of the day. Memphis is 6.5-point favorite, total 221.5. What do you think of Grizz and Mavs?
Oh, man. I feel like I'm getting suckered into this bet. I just feel it. I'm saying to myself, why? Why is the number 6.5? I feel Dallas is going to win this game outright. I love the plus 6.5. You got a sprained ankle, Ja Morant, which we've seen multiple times in the playoffs. Ja always gets hurt. He sprained his ankle in the third quarter against Golden State in the play-in game. I don't know if you saw Zach Edey, Purdue alum, Sean. Zach Edey was terrible, virtually unplayable. He's going to have to play major minutes to contend against a very big Dallas team with Anthony Davis and all of the other 7-footers like Daniel Gafford on this team. I think the Grizzlies are going to struggle to score, especially with the hobbled jaw. And you've got Desmond Bane, who's pretty small. He's going to get locked down, I think, on the perimeter. Like I said, every player on the Mavericks, starting 5 is 6'6" or bigger. So I can see Jaren Jackson getting into foul trouble. No play on the total. But I really, really like Dallas plus 6.5. And I feel like Dallas should win this game.
I'm with you. I like Dallas plus points. I'm going to bet them outright, too. I think they're going to win. All this talk about Nico and Luka, and you watch them win both playing games and make it to the quarterfinals. All right, T, coming up over the weekend, we got 6 series that are already set in stone in the NBA playoffs. We got Bucks Pacers, Clippers Nuggets, Knicks Pistons, Timberwolves Lakers, Magic Celtics, and Rockets and Warriors. We got game 1 spreads out for all of these games. So as you look at the board, any lines in any of the game 1s that jump out to you that you like?
The number 1 bet that sticks out like a sore thumb to me, Peach, is the Boston Celtics versus the Orlando Magic total, 205.5. Do you remember the way that the Cavs Magic series went last year? Pretty much every game went under 205.5. And there were games in the 180s. There were games in the 190s. The Magic cannot shoot from the perimeter. KCP will not save them. They've got random Corey Joseph as their starting point guard. Jalen Suggs is just hanging out with Haley Van Lith right now. He's not playing any damn games. So to me, 2 great defenses. I really like the under in this game. I probably am taking the under throughout in the series. I think we're going to get some low-scoring games. The only scary thing about that is that Boston can get hot and light it up. They can have 33s in a game. But I just feel like both of these defenses are going to keep it low-scoring.
I love it. All right, talk to me about this Warriors and Rockets series because I think it's going to be really good. It's 2-7 in the West with the Rockets being the 2 seed, but Golden State is the heavy favorite at minus 190. It makes sense, right? The Rockets are an up-and-coming team. Obviously, the Warriors with Steve Kerr and Curry and Draymond and Jimmy Butler, they have guys that have won championships, been through a ton of playoff battles. But Houston has home court. They've been the better team all season. How do you see that series playing out? Do you think Houston has a chance to upset Golden State?
Oh, absolutely. Right? I think everyone's counting out the Rockets, and I get that Jimmy and Steph together have been electric. They've won a lot of games. Their record is insane since the trade deadline. But Steph is a guy who hates getting bodied. He hates getting physicality. And Amen Thompson is a very physical player who held Steph to 3 points the last time they played against one another. The Rockets are long. They're super defensively tough, an Ime Udoka-led team. They have a bunch of guys who can blanket Jimmy. And Jimmy is dealing with a bruise to his thigh from that Golden State Warriors playing game against the Grizz. And then you've got Steven Adams, who's on the Rockets, which I think a lot of people forget he's even there. He's really good at bothering Draymond. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, he's a great rebounder, he's a good passer, and he's 3-2 the last 5 times that he's played against the Warriors, no matter what team he's on. I also like Amen Thompson over 1.5 blocks. That's plus 140. He had 2 or more blocks in 4 of his last 5 games. I think he's going to lock down in the playoffs. I know that it's going to be tough for the Rockets to win, and certainly I think there's a reason that the Warriors are favored. But if the refs let them play, I think the Rockets win this series.
Yeah, I think that's one that could go the distance. All 7 games should be fun. We're talking with Trysta Krick here on Send It In. T, I want your thoughts on a couple more series. What about Lakers and Timberwolves? Another series, Lakers minus 200 favorites. No surprise with Luke and LeBron. We obviously saw this Minnesota team go deep in the postseason last year. How do you see this series playing out between the Lakers and the Wolves?
Yeah, I think 10 out of 10 ESPN commentators are picking the Lakers, which we know what that means.
What could go
wrong? The
wrong?
Commentator curse, you know? Can the Lakers stay healthy? That's the key, because they are just an ankle tweak away, a groin strain away from getting taken out in 5 games to the Minnesota Timberwolves. More than any team, I think, not only just because of age, but lack of depth. They don't have a true center. They can't sustain any injuries. And Minnesota has that playoff experience. They went to the Western Conference Finals last year. They are much deeper than LA. They are much bigger than LA. You've got 2 legit 7-footers who play center in Naz Reid and Rudy Gobert. You've got 2 6'9" wings who are beefy, who can guard on the perimeter. I think this matchup is fascinating. And remember, everybody was counting the Timberwolves out against the Suns because it was Kevin Durant and it was Devin Booker and it was Bradley Beal. And they got their ass swept. Yep. And then you end up seeing the defending champs, and you beat them in 7 in one of the more historic comebacks in a Game 7 that you can have. So they're finding their groove. I really like this matchup. I don't really want to play it, but I definitely think that there's a possibility that Minnesota wins this series. A great prop, though, to look at is over 3.5 threes for Anthony Edwards, minus 140. Not a great price, but he did lead the league in 3 points attempted and 3 points made. He has a 40% 3-point percentage in the playoffs, so I like this bet.
Talk to me about Clippers and Nuggets, Trysta. This was a series where Denver actually opened up as the favorite. So much money has come in on the Clippers because obviously the way that both teams have kind of gone in different directions to end the season. Are you buying all the people that are liking the Clippers? Do you think they take this series against the Nuggets?
Are we going to get our heart broken again by the LA Clippers? I don't
Probably.
know, because I keep buying them. I keep buying them every year, and then something happens where I look like an idiot. I think I'm going to do it again. I don't know what's going on with the Nuggets. It's clear that there's some toxicity happening within the organization. They fire their coach and their GM on the same day with a few games to go left in the season. They've got a guy in David Adelman who's coached a total of 3 games, and he's going up against one of the best coaches in NBA history in Ty Lue, who is going to play the matchups, who's going to have the chess match. We saw how these 2 teams played in the bubble against one another when the Nuggets came back from down 3-1. I love Jokic and I love Jamal Murray, but to me, I feel like this is a series where the Clippers are playing too well. Kawhi Leonard's fully healthy. He's playing 40-something minutes a game. James Harden is vintage 2019 version, Rockets MVP, vintage Harden. I know he disappears in the playoffs, and that may be true, but I like the Clippers in this series. A good bet, though, for prop bet is Jokic under 27.5 points. He's only gotten over this a total of 4 times in his 19 games against Kawhi. Kawhi bothers him. So I kind of like that prop as well.
Love it. All right, Tris, before I let you go in 30 seconds, are we on an OKC-Boston collision course, or do you think somebody else meets in the finals?
I think we're on a collision course, but I will say if Golden State gets out of the first round, they're playing good enough basketball to beat OKC. They'll beat the 2 seed, which means they'll face OKC in the Western Conference Finals. OKC hasn't gotten over the hump yet, and you've got 2 Batmen in Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. I don't think they want to see them.
All right, there you go. Trysta Krick, give her a follow on X at Trysta_Krick, basketball analyst, sports comedy personality, and make sure you check out the Heat Check with Trysta Krick, an NBA podcast. T, always great having you on the show. Great insight. Looking forward to catching up all throughout the NBA playoffs.
Love you, Peach. And also congratulations to Rory on that Masters win.
Yes, that was epic, wasn't it? Awesome Masters Sunday.